What's going on, everybody? I'm keeping you updated with all of the latest in pro wrestling. Today, we are talking about Brock Lesnar and some drama there. We're also talking about AEW and some major plans. And yes, we got to talk about WrestleMania because there are some huge leaked plans that actually is very exciting to me. We're going to talk about it in today's video. Timestamps in the description down below. Let's kick things off with Brock Lesnar because there appears to be some backstage heat on Brock Lesnar. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, he reported today that Lesnar received some heat for a spot that happened in the Royal Rumble match. Per the report, some of the aftermath that Brock Lesnar did, obviously after being eliminated, wasn't planned, and it definitely caught a few by surprise. It was said that a couple of weeks ago, people who were ringside for the bout weren't prepared for the stairs spot and did not know it was coming when Lesnar obviously tossed part of the steel steps and the announce table. That was reportedly all unplanned. One source also said that we knew a freakout was planned, and it's Brock, so expect anything and everything. But the situation that actually got Brock Lesnar some heat was the one where he threw the referee, Eddie Orengo, I think is how it's pronounced, but he threw the referee over the barricade. A lot of people still don't know whether or not he has been injured. He was taken to the back, and then he missed a notable stage at the end of the bout. One source also did say that heat is a relative term for Brock Lesnar. He is not going to get in trouble. He's certainly not going to be fired like Crime Time was. It's a new regime with new rules, and I'm not sure anyone involved was mad or not, but some people backstage were. Now, this is a really interesting situation, right? When you look at Brock Lesnar, obviously a top name in the company, it's probably going to ruffle some feathers. Now, from a viewing experience as a fan watching that, it was actually a really good spot. I like the idea of Brock Lesnar wreaking havoc, throwing a referee over, going nuts with the steel steps and everything, because it definitely created more suspense and more anticipation for his potential feud with Bobby Lashley. By the way, this whole thing went down relatively quickly. Brock Lesnar went into the Rumble, got a few eliminations, and then got taken out, and it all happened so fast. I feel like this is part of a great build for him and Bobby Lashley. The idea of him throwing a referee, potentially hurting the referee, is not good by any means. Whatever happens with the regime and stuff like that, at least a conversation needs to be had. You don't want things like that happening, obviously. Guys, I want to talk a little bit about AEW. Tony Khan and AEW are prepared to do something really massive. AEW is considering launching a streaming service, likely with Warner Brothers Discovery. Bloomberg has an article with the AEW president, Tony Khan, and AEW talking about AEW. And there was a lot of great things, but there was something that was written in the article that was really interesting. In March, Khan acquired the small but respected pro wrestling company Ring of Honor from Sinclair Broadcast Group Incorporated for an undisclosed sum, adding a new crop of wrestlers, some intellectual property, and an extensive video library. AEW is also considering starting a streaming service, likely through a deal with its broadcast partner, Warner Bros. Discovery, Inc. According to a person familiar with the management's thinking who asked not to be named, last year AEW broke $100 million in annual revenue for the very first time. AEW does have a TV deal with Warner Bros. Discovery for Dynamite on TNT and TBS, with Rampage as well. And we all know that Dark and Elevation are both on YouTube. And we also know that AEW's pay-per-views are on Bleacher Report. The plan is for AEW to have Tony Khan use ROH as something that is aired on Honor Club, and this kind of got me thinking. We all have known for a while that a streaming service possibility with AEW was a big thing. When we talked a little bit about Warner Media and potentially HBO Max and Discovery Plus, and there's a lot of confusion here with Warner Brothers Discovery. But what does this mean for Tony Khan launching a streaming service? If it is with the help of Warner Bros. Discovery, I expect that AEW is going to have a different streaming service from Honor Club, and this would be powered and funded, or in association with Warner Bros. Discovery, but I don't think this means. I think this means that AEW is not going to have a streaming service that's already attached to a pre-existing one. So this would be AEW having their own tape library, their own shows, Dark and Elevation being on the streaming service, their pay-per-views being on the streaming service, and I think part of that would be in collaboration with WBD. Now, with that being said, Warner Bros. Discovery has a lot of interesting things going on with their own streaming services. What would be the right move? Now, in terms of maximizing its potential reach and getting more viewership on AEW streaming, I think AEW needs to be part of Warner Bros. Discovery, and obviously we'll kind of see where things go with the next set of television rights negotiations. But if AEW is launching their own streaming service by itself, how many signups are they going to get? And why would it be separated from Honor Club? I think that's a really big question mark. I think when talking about a streaming service, Honor Club and AEW, to create the most value and have a really good library, would need to be merged together. And keep in mind, if ROH Weekly TV is in fact on Honor Club and you have everything under AEW, it could make a lot of sense. With AEW going this route of having a streaming service on their own, I think there are definitely some cons to it, no pun intended. But I do think it would be a really good thing for AEW to have some sort of streaming option. So whether it's their own app or Warner Brothers Discovery, I think it's necessary. There's more benefits to them being with Warner Brothers Discovery on Discovery Plus, HBO Max, whatever the new name ends up becoming. But I also think if they are going to go that route, ROH needs to be included. I don't know if AEW is at a point where they can get a really high amount of signups on their own streaming service. There's so many damn streaming services. They all cost so much money. The idea of streaming was to eliminate cable, and people find it actually more valuable now to have cable than ever. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. Guys, we got to talk about some leaked plans for WWE. But first, if you're not a subscriber of this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button, ring that bell. You'll never miss a new video. Keep in mind, we also got a Discord server in the comments, in the description link down below. Check those out. Guys, we're talking about Gunther. There have been some major plans leaked. This is very interesting. WrestleVotes tweeted out today, I'm told while not 100%, there are plans to feature an Intercontinental Championship three-way match at WrestleMania. This would include Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. There are a number of supporters within creative that not only want the match, but they want it towards the top, to be dated. So this is a very interesting thing because originally there were some plans for WWE to go the route with Gunther and Brock Lesnar. And I think this could be a really, really big time match. However, with that being said, I don't want to see Gunther versus Brock Lesnar competing for the Intercontinental Championship. I don't. Now, there's going to be some people disagree here, and that's completely fine. I think Brock Lesnar and Gunther is such a big time feud and such a big time match, it doesn't need a championship belt involved. Now, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Gunther, they're going to have an absolutely amazing match for the Intercontinental Championship. And here's the reality, guys. We saw WWE under Vince McMahon not give an absolute shit about the Intercontinental Championship. So the idea that WWE officials are high on this match with the idea of showcasing the Intercontinental Championship, especially at the top of the WrestleMania card, that is massive news. That is a complete change from where Vince McMahon was booking before, and this is a welcome change. In my opinion, you could have Gunther go over, you could have Sheamus or Drew McIntyre win. You have three heavy hitters. It's going to be a massive match, and in addition to that, the best part is the Intercontinental Championship will continue to have its value there. I like this a lot. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I appreciate you guys sticking with me, and I'll see you next time.